Look at that snake. Every time I see snakes, it's too late. Frickin' GoPro. It was a very big one. You said that was poisonous?
Yeah,
Why?
It looked poisonous. We've just seen a snake
It's a big one.
swing past over here on the road, a big one too. I'm kind of curious what kind of snakes are indigenous
We could
to
actually
Taiwan.
just look it up later.
Yeah, either way,
It was brown and long.
I did want to talk to you about, you know, sort of the natural diversity that we see here in Taiwan.
Sure.
Just wherever we've been, there have been birds and there have been snakes and lizards and all sorts of weird things, right?
And
like
onions as
everywhere.
well.
Yeah, you want some onions?
No.
But quite literally, it's such a change to where I live in Shenzhen,
Sure.
because it's bizarre. And you know, you see it yourself, but as soon as you cross the border from Hong Kong, in Hong Kong you've got lots of wildlife, like
Monkeys.
finches and, you know, like all birds and all these cool things, and you just go over the border and suddenly there's not a bird to be seen.
No monkeys, no birds,
Yeah.
no lizards, no snakes.
And I mean, I always jokingly say, oh, it's because they eat them all. But you know what? It's actually true.
Yeah.
Like they get caught.
Right. You won't see animals in China.
No, well, not in the big cities. You get out in the middle of nowhere, but they still trap them en masse and stuff. You
I was
know?
gonna say, like, even in the countryside, you rarely see it.
I actually, you know, I used to do dirt biking back in the day. So I'd go into like rural Guangdong areas to do dirt biking.
Yeah.
And I'd be riding in the middle of a forest, and I got caught in a massive bird net once, because they put bird nets everywhere
Yeah.
to catch the birds.
Right.
But it just reminds me of that clip of, you know, in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
where in the park, you see a Chinese lady with her, I presume, her husband or something,
Grabbing the birds.
and she's just grabbing the, what are they, sparrows?
Pigeons.
Pigeons?
Oh no,
those-
sorry, those were sparrows. Yeah,
I think they're sparrows, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Put
she's
them in a bag.
literally grabbing them and putting them in a bag.
Right.
Because they do eat them, you know?
Right.
And people might say, but, you know, what kind of meat is there on a sparrow? Well, you know, you've got, although it's not sparrows, you get restaurants that specialize in
Small
pigeons.
birds.
Right?
And small birds in general.
Yeah, small birds in general. So Chinese people eat small birds and small creatures.
The way they actually cook them means that you can eat the whole thing. Like, there's very few bones that you have to spit out because they're so small.
But also remember, they like to make soups and stuff.
Yeah,
and I guess like a bird soup, you just need to cook it with the bird in there, even if there's not a
The
lot of
thing
meat.
is, like, Guangdong people don't eat the meat out of soups, which is really
Yes.
a waste.
It is.
I don't
They just
get
drink
it.
the soup, yeah.
It's like the essence of the soul of the animal fell out.
So yeah, just seeing that snake, it was a big snake as well,
Very
crossing
big.
the road. And just remembering all the kind of biodiversity, like those massive butterflies and stuff we see all
Right.
over the place here.
Right.
Just reminded me that you actually don't see that in mainland China, in the big cities.
Right.
Like any of the big cities. Go to
Right.
Beijing, go to Shanghai, they're all gone.
I mean, we've actually physically run into poachers, you know, like people
Yeah.
that go out there to do that. And there are restaurants, we've said this before, that specialize in endangered animals.
Sure.
So you don't see them. You just don't see them. I mean, it's this treat when we're in the countryside, like in Dongbei or whatever, we see an animal, you know.
Yeah.
It was rare.
Yeah, it's incredibly rare. You remember that time on conquering southern China, we came across those poachers had like a massive badger
What was
or something.
that?
I have no idea, but it's something that they'd caught. But you often see poachers just out in the bush,
Right.
catching animals, you know. It's a little bit worrying because quite literally, as soon as you cross the border, like I said, there are no birds. Literally, like no birds.
None.
And it takes something away.
Right.
Because, you know, here we've been in Taiwan, you wake up in the morning, there are birds chirping and singing and stuff, and it adds so much.
Right.
You know, to your experience.
Agreed.
Yeah. So just thought we'd explain that little phenomenon. Anything you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, so I did that episode, I don't know if you guys have seen it, like in the mountains of Hong Kong with all the monkeys. And I got attacked and stuff. It's very funny. But yeah, I found it interesting that I know people say it's because there's so many people in China.
Yeah.
But actually it's just lack of conservation efforts. It doesn't matter how many people there are, nobody needs to eat all these birds. Nobody needs to capture all these snakes, right?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to do that.
Sure, I mean, they do it in America, in Philadelphia,
Right,
for
right.
goodness sake.
But they do it because of these medicinal purposes. And I keep hearing this from, you know, like the younger generation typically, I mean, they'll follow these traditions, but they're not gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
They'll often say, like, listen, I don't really want to do this, but my parents, you know, they buy this stuff and they support the economy of this illegal animal trade, basically. And I'm no conservationist myself, but there is something really sad about the lack of being able to see birds and like snakes and lizards and stuff in China. You do get those little geckos, by the way. Those little brown tan ones, those are everywhere. I guess they don't eat those, eh?
I guess not. I think they're quite scared of them, actually.
Yeah, my wife always screams. They're just little cute things. They don't bite you.
It's true, you do get those, but yeah, this whole, like, the pangolins, they eat those a
Yeah,
lot,
Vivi's eaten that multiple times.
Yeah, it's bad. They're
Not
endangered.
Not choice, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. But
They're
her parents,
endangered, but they're everywhere. Like,
it's weird.
in
I
restaurants.
want to get in her parents' head and be like, why?
Yeah.
Are you more important than an entire species of animal? Like your minor satisfaction of sipping on a soup?
Yeah.
You know?
I have this idea that the reason why all the little wildlife things are eaten is because of the famine and the starvation that was going on during the, you know, the bad years.
Sure,
in China.
but that's not here.
But it's over. It's over now, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I guess like if you're starving, you'll eat anything, right?
But you know, these little animals and stuff, I never heard people say it's how true, you know. It's like, it is medicinal, and I think they've actually proven this multiple times. The reason you don't see, even in countries that practice Chinese medicine like Japan and Taiwan, the reason you don't see these endangered creatures being eaten is because it's actually not in Chinese medicine. It's made up.
Sure.
Like, they'll add this to the annals of history, basically, to sell it.
Sure.
Which is messed up. What's like the most messed up thing that you've been offered?
To eat? Well, I mean, in China to eat, I mean, people have offered me dog. I always refuse.
Right.
You know,
That's
snakes.
not endangered.
Snakes. Remember in conquering southern China, we had that
Right, we had to eat that.
bloody thing that had snake and cat in it.
Cats,
you know?
yeah. Those
That
are
was
not
pretty...
endangered, right?
No, they're not endangered. But you know, like tiger tendons and stuff.
Whoa, you've been offered that?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's just one of those things. You know, you've seen it, right? Where you're walking on the street and there'll be like an ethnic-looking dude selling like some gross-looking tendons of a bear or something. You've seen that, right?
Yeah. So.
That you actually see people selling that stuff in public sometimes.
Right. Remember on conquering northern China, we were offered for 10,000 RMB to eat a bear's paw.
Yeah. It's like, no.
I don't even know how you eat that.
Well, I refuse.
I know, but we're not going to eat it, but how do you even eat it?
I don't know. It sounds terrible.
Right.
Yeah, this whole thing about just stripping the wildlife out just for like stupid little magical property nonsense, it's kind of bloody annoying, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah. Especially if you like animals like I do.
You see these little weird little
things.
signs of all these little black things?
Yeah.
Those are those weird little chestnut things that are shaped like a bull's head. So we've gone from onion land to chestnut land.
Yep. Well, that's a job.
That is a job. Fan those nuts. Hot nuts.
So anyway, I think that's pretty much it.
I was pointing out earlier in one of those videos. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else we can say. It's just a bad practice. Like, I hope China stops being greedy like that and killing off all the animals just for like shit little soups and stuff.
Yeah, and I can't believe how many times I've been offered this kind of absolute garbage. And it's gonna come back to bite them. I mean, like, they found this isn't rare, and I'm happy that they killed these things. But those giant centipedes, man, I hate those things. But I had to drink centipede soup or whatever, and then me and my friends dared each other to actually eat the centipede. And it was like the grossest thing I've ever eaten in my life. But
sure.
Yeah, it turns to my stomach just thinking about it. But they just found out there's like some sort of horrific parasite in them that like messes you up for the rest of your life. And
sure.
I know that's not a rare animal or anything, but you can't just willy-nilly like eat every creature, because I think it'll come back to bite you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there aren't going to be any of those things left, and then what? What are they going to eat next?
Right.
Find something else that looks similar to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, depressing subject. Anything you'd like to tell our subscribers before we sign off?
Whether you eat you know, sustainable things like pork and beef, now people are gonna be like, that is not sustainable. We shouldn't be killing any animals. No, I don't really care. I love meat. My apologies to you guys out there. I respect your lifestyle choice, but I do like to eat meat.
Yeah.
But I don't like to eat endangered meat, and I think that our species of this world should be protected and enjoyed, because it could be devastating impacts in the future. But whether you agree with that sentiment or not, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Give us a like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to help support the channel, buy that merch.
Yeah, and don't, like, for all of our Chinese subscribers, if you've got an aunt or an uncle of that age who likes to catch, like, just random stuff off the street to eat, please tell them not to do it when they're traveling overseas. It's so embarrassing, and it's hard for us to explain to, you know, other foreigners, because we have Chinese wives and stuff, you know, and it embarrasses us when Chinese people do things like that, because it's so unbelievable. People are like, why are they catching sparrows in a park?
Or geese, yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you doing? What's wrong? You know, please tell them not to do that. Buy them, give them like a gift card for Walmart instead.
There
you know
you
what I mean? Anyway, well, whether you eat little birds or not, we do love you all the same. So until next time, you know the drill. Stay awesome. Don't forget, every single Monday, another ADV China video right here, same time, same place. On Wednesday, you can check out Lawa 86, 1 p.m. EST, and Friday, just in time for a beer going, check me out on my channel, Serpent ZA.